What's up, guys? It's Josh here, back today with another Kansas City Chiefs related video, and today I am going to go over all the pending Chiefs free agents for the 2021 NFL offseason and going over which ones the Chiefs should try and keep and which ones they should just let walk, and just a quick short opinion on each player. I've noticed a lot of other Chiefs channels have started doing this and it looks super fun. I want to give my opinion on all of our upcoming key free agents, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So before we get into it, I do want to say make sure you check out www.showmefootball.com, my website, for more Chiefs content, and go and follow me on Twitter at ShowMeFB. The Chiefs have a ton of decisions to make this offseason, and some of their biggest decisions are going to come in free agency. So our first big free agent that the Chiefs will have to decide on is Sami Watkins. So in 2020... Okay, first of all, before I talk about Sami Watkins at all, I just want to say I've always been a huge Sami Watkins fan. I've always defended the guy. I liked it. I kid you not, I had a Bills Sami Watkins background on my tablet because I was that big of a fan of the dude, and I was so hyped when the Chiefs got him because he was one of my favorite non-Chiefs for years, and I was psyched when we got him. But I got to say, 2020 was the last straw for me. The dude just cannot stay healthy, and it's one thing when you're missing some regular season games and then showing out in the playoffs. It's another when you're missing playoff games and you play 14 snaps in the Super Bowl and only have one catch. I'm done with Watkins. I say let him walk. Some people have thrown around like, oh, what if he comes back for, I don't know, 3-4 million. I'm not even doing that anymore. I want someone new. I'm done with Watkins. So I think the Chiefs should let him walk. Now, our next big free agent is Dan Sorensen. I love Dirty Dan, someone who's always kind of gotten unwarranted hate from the fans over the years. I get it. He's deficient in coverage, but he's a great blitzer. He's great in about that line of scrimmage to 10 yards out area. He's really more of a dime linebacker. It's just the Chiefs always tended to put him in zone coverage deep, and that's not really his thing, or man-to-man on the other team's best tight end. Again, not really his thing. But I got to say, he's making $4 million now. He's going to be, 32 pretty soon. This is one that I would miss him, but I think the Chiefs could maybe upgrade. Someone I like in the draft that's a high upside replacement is Paris Ford from Pittsburgh. I wrote about him on my website. Dan Sorensen, if he comes back for $1 or $2 million, that's fine. But honestly, I think he's closer to retirement. We'll just have to see. But Dirty Dan, they can survive his loss. Next one is Bashad Breeland. So Bashad Breeland has always been solid. I really wish the Chiefs signed him in 2018, but they couldn't come to a deal, or they couldn't come to agreement on a deal. And then they ended up getting him the very next season, and I was very excited about it. He's been really solid for us. Yeah, he gets a lot of holding penalties, but for the most part, he holds his own. But this is one that, I wouldn't be surprised if he walks. And the Chiefs were, quite frankly, lucky to get him back this past season for lower than they got him in 2019. But if he comes back at the same number or less, I will gladly keep him. The Chiefs really only need two outside corners, and I like Breeland over Ward, with Snead being the other, and then, whatever with the safeties, assuming we bring in a new safety or whatever. And then you got Rashad Fenton in the slot. I'm fine with that. But if they don't, they can always go out and get a veteran that maybe is cheaper than Breeland, maybe has a little bit more left in the tank. But again, kind of like Sorensen, this is a loss the Chiefs can survive, but I wouldn't mind seeing him back. Next, we have defensive end Alex Okafor, and I gotta say, Alex Okafor is someone that I really liked the signing when it first happened. He was pretty impressive in 2019 before tearing his pec against the Denver Broncos right before the playoffs. But this year, he just has not stayed healthy. He just hasn't been very good, and the Chiefs voided the last year of his deal, which pretty much tells you that they're not bringing him back. And the Chiefs, they want to upgrade the other defensive end spot opposite Frank Clark. You guys know how I feel about Frank Clark. They need at least some sort of upgrade at edge to help the pass rush out because Clark and Jones aren't getting it done. And for the record, I'm tired of the hate on Chris Jones. You guys have to realize that he's getting double teamed a hell of a lot. I believe he was double teamed the most this past year right there with Aaron Donald because we have no edge presence. Frank Clark couldn't beat his guy one-on-one, but that's a story for another day. I'm not going to get too deep into that. But back to the main point. I'm done with Alex Okafor. I think the Chiefs should let him walk and find an upgrade there. Next, we got linebacker Damien Wilson. Damien Wilson is the definition of solid. I really, really like this guy. This was a great value signing by Veach 2 years ago. He had only played for just over $2 million. If they could get him back for somewhere around there, I would be ecstatic. I love Damien Wilson. Not the greatest in coverage, but he has some games better than others. Can blitz a little bit. Solid tackler. Like I said, the dude's just solid. I love him in the rotation, so would love to bring him back. Next, we got wide receiver Demarcus Robinson. I'm just going to say this. Let him walk. I don't want to be too rude, so I'm just going to keep it at let him walk. Goodbye, Demarcus. Next, we got center Austin Ryder. I'm not a big Ryder fan. He was all right in pass blocking this past season, but I still don't think he was all that impressive. The dude can't run block for anything. Largely unimpressive. Now, if he's willing to come back at around $2 million like he's making now, but as a backup rather than a starter, I guess I'm okay with that. But honestly, I'd probably just rather let him walk. I'm fine with letting him walk. That's fine. Next, we have fullback Anthony Sherman. This is a simple one. He's been playing on basically a series of one-year deals for the past several years. Just bring him back for 1 year, $1 million. Love the sausage. Keep him. Next, we got offensive lineman Mike Remmers. I've noticed a huge spike in Mike Remmers' hate since the Super Bowl. I get it. He had a rough Super Bowl. But people forget this guy filled in admirably at right tackle when we only signed him to be a backup swingman offensive lineman, and he ended up having to step in at right tackle for Mitchell Schwartz, and he did really fine. It was him having to switch to left tackle for the first time this season in the Super Bowl that killed him and kind of ruined the perception that Chiefs fans have of him. The dude's a solid backup. I would gladly take him back, especially when you're probably going to have to replace most of the line. You want a veteran anchor to keep around that can show the younger guys the way. So I'm fine with bringing Mike Remmers back for about what he made this year. Next, we have Caliche Osemale. Caliche Osemale was amazing to start out the year. He was a great value signing late in the process after LDT opted out. Great run blocker, very solid offensive lineman. But everyone knows he snapped tendons in both of his knees week 5 against the Raiders, and that's a tough injury to come back from, especially at his age. He's already 32, and the guy's just had a series of injuries throughout his career, and the reason he was a free agent so late last year was because he had an injury dispute with the Jets, his last team, and he's just kind of struggled to stay healthy. I'd rather the Chiefs go with someone younger here and just let Osemale go, and honestly, he may retire. We don't even know if he's going to be healthy enough to play, so yeah, I'm fine with moving on from Osemale. Next, we got Tono Passanio, the defensive end. I gotta say no. I think I was impressed with him in 2019, but he seemed to have topped out then because this year he plateaued. In fact, I would say he even regressed a little bit. Tono is just, he is what he is, and I'm fine with letting him go. I'll leave it at that. Next, we got Stefan Wisniewski. I'll keep this one short and simple. I'm fine with him coming back on like a 1 year deal for maybe $1 million or less. But we need a youth and talent injection on the offensive line, and I'm not sure Wisniewski's in the plans. So, yeah. Next, we got Daniel Kilgore, the backup center. Honestly, I would rather keep him over Ryder. That's just my opinion. I thought Kilgore was better than Ryder whenever he got to play, but for some reason the staff did not see it. But yeah, this is probably someone the team is going to let walk, but I personally would bring back. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Kilgore. Next, we got Antonio Hamilton. Antonio Hamilton is really a special teams ace. He's someone, he plays cornerback. That's his position, but he's not really supposed to play cornerback. When he did play cornerback this year, he was burnt toast, but he's not really meant for that. He was kind of the Jordan Lucas replacement, just kind of that special teams ace. And if that's, if he's fine coming back at the number he played on this past year, that's fine. If you're just having him on special teams, I'm cool with that. Next, we got Mike Pinnell. I think Mike Pinnell, it's been nice having him, but I think he's someone that the Chiefs should move on from. Didn't play that many snaps this past season. He was an essential run stuffer back in 2019 and this past season, but I think the younger guys are ready to take over. Colin Saunders was inactive this entire year, and I think the Chiefs want to give him a chance to play next season and take over kind of that Mike Pinnell role. So Thank you, Pinnell. I really love Pinnell. I love him as a player and a person, but time to move on. Next, we got Le'Veon Bell, someone I hold near and dear to my heart and someone that Chiefs fans hate on for no reason at all. I think Le'Veon Bell is a lot, again, Chiefs fans have a clouded perception of him, but really, I thought he was very impressive in limited snaps. He had a higher yards per carry than Clyde Edwards-Helaire in 4 of 7 games, and I think there's a lot of Clyde Edwards-Helaire apologists because of the offensive line play, but Le'Veon Bell doesn't seem to get that same kind of love. I thought he was really impressive when he got the ball. Just the problem was they never gave him the ball. I really like Le'Veon Bell. I think the Chiefs are going to move on from him this offseason, though. Though I don't agree with it. I love Le'Veon Bell. I'd love to have him back, but with Damien Williams coming back, I just don't think he fits in the plans. But for the record, I'm a huge Damien Williams fan too, so I'm fine with that. Next, we got Ricky Seals-Jones, the wasted free agent signing. He was inactive for basically every game but one this year. Move on. Next, we got Taco Charlton, who flashed in limited snaps before breaking his leg against, I think it was the Raiders. I forget what game it was he got injured, but yeah, I really like Taco Charlton. I thought he was very productive. I think he'll step in for Tono next year, and heck, he could even be the answer at the other defensive end spot. We'll see, but I really like Taco. Hope they bring him back, and I think they will. Next, we got offensive lineman Andrew Wiley. This is similar to Ryder, like if he's willing to come back at the number that he played at this past year, but as a backup, not a starter, I'm fine with that. However, I don't mind him walking away either. I'm cool with either. Next, we got tight end Dion Yelder. Dion Yelder is someone a lot of Chiefs fans don't talk about, but I've just kind of liked. Every time they get this guy the ball, he's actually been really solid. Like I remember in the Lions game last year, like he had like 3 catches on the first drive alone and was really good. And then Andy Reid just stopped throwing him the ball. Like I really like Dion Yelder. I think he's got a little bit of athleticism, and I would like to bring him back, sure. I have no problem with Dion Yelder on this roster. Next, we got Garrick Deiter. I'm not sure why the Chiefs keep messing around with this guy, cutting him and bringing him back like 90 times, and I just really don't think he has the talent to be on the field. I think his relationship with players on the team is the only thing keeping him here at this point. He doesn't have that much upside, and I really hate how for all the COVID call-ups this year, he was the guy instead of someone like Fortson, who I think is super talented and should actually get a shot. Not a big fan of Deiter. I think it's time to move on and stop messing around with that cutting him and bringing him back stuff, because other teams have had a chance to claim him several times and never did, and I think that's telling. So, yeah, I'm ready to move on. Next, we got running back Daryl Williams. I call him Daryl the Barrel. I think this one is a no-brainer. He's a great bruising runner that I think the Chiefs need to complement Damien Williams and Clyde Edwards-Helaire next year. Daryl Williams was really good in the postseason and came on strong at the end of this past season, and I really like him. So, yeah, bring him back. Next, we got linebacker Ben Neiman. Not a huge fan of Neiman. I don't think he should be playing major snaps. However, bringing him back as like a special teams guy and someone that you play in an emergency situation just because of his knowledge of the defense and everything like that, I think you got to bring him back with the linebacker core being generally thin and him being a cheap option. But I don't think he should be playing major snaps next year, and I pray to God Willie Gay is getting all those snaps because I'm done with Neiman playing like crunch time coverage snaps. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Next, we got Charvarius Ward. Charvarius Ward, most of you that have been following me for a while know how I feel about Ward. I don't think he's all that impressive. However, him at his current number is a good deal, and I think the Chiefs will tender him. I think they'll put like a second or third round tender on him, meaning that if anyone tries to sign him, like let's say the Chiefs put a second round tender on him, if someone signs him, then they are forced to give the Chiefs a second round pick for signing him, and that's a great deal. Like if someone signs Ward and we get a second round pick, I'm going to be damn happy because I'd love to replace Ward with a higher upside guy. However, Ward, I mean, he's okay as like a third or fourth guy. I think the Chiefs tried to make him a 1 or a 2 guy, and he just kind of topped out. So, Ward, I mean, he struggled a lot this year. Ward, I'm fine with keeping him around for cheap, but it's not the end of the world if he goes elsewhere. Next, we got Nick Kaiser. Nick Kaiser is someone that this team has tried to make, or Andy Reid has tried to make him kind of his like secret kind of Swiss Army knife, secret weapon guy, and he just was very boneheaded when he got the ball and just not great at all. I wasn't impressed by him. I think the Chiefs should let him go. That one's a simple, easy answer. And then lastly, we have Byron Pringle. Byron Pringle, I've been super impressed with him. I was never super high on him and thought he was more of a special teams guy than anything, but man, has he stepped up when asked to, especially in the wake of Sami Watkins being injured and all and him having to step up. He also outperformed McCole Hardman on kick returns. I thought, McCole Hardman, like I said earlier about some other guys, if you've been following me for a while, you know how I feel about McCole Hardman. And I think it's kind of sad yet impressive for Byron that it's sad for McCole, but impressive for Byron that Byron Pringle essentially outperformed McCole, the second year top 100 draft pick in spurts. So Byron Pringle, I'm impressed with him. I'm cool with bringing him back. I think he's a developmental number 3 or 4 receiver, and you can be comfortable with him on the field in certain situations. So yeah, Byron Pringle, really solid. Hope they bring him back. So, yeah, that's all of the key upcoming Chiefs free agents for this offseason. Those are my opinions on them. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, how you feel, if you agree, disagree, whatever. But that's my take. Like I said, make sure you check out www.showmefootball.com for more. Like, subscribe, share, and follow me on Twitter @ShowMeFB. Appreciate you guys joining me today, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.